Is 2019 the return of multi-camera live studio audience slash laugh track comedies? I think it is. What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. There is a brand new show on Netflix, 10 episodes, each episode clocking at around 30 minutes, and that is Family Reunion. If you didn't know about it before, I don't blame you. They haven't really been marketing, well, any of their shows really well, but this show in particular, I didn't see anything other than a few tweets like today and a couple of days ago. Otherwise, why don't you put your new shows on the homepage at the forefront of your platform? I don't know. Regardless, that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you guys about this show. If you have seen it, get in the comment section and tell me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and if you haven't seen it, are you looking forward to it? I'm going to tell you what it is here in just a second. Let's talk about Family Reunion, the show. So when the McKellen family moves from Seattle to Georgia to be closer to extended family, the transition is like being a catfish out of water. I didn't make that up. That's in the summary. So this is a pretty cool story that I would not have been aware of if I hadn't have watched this show, gotten curious, and researched a few of these actors. So Anthony Albee is an actor, writer, and former NFL player with Miami Dolphins and Kansas City Chiefs. But in 2010, when he left the NFL, he moved to Los Angeles to pursue his true passion, and that is acting. How awesome is that? The guy gets small roles in Malibu Rescue and Raven's Home, and now he gets the chance to really kind of lead this series. He is the father figure in a return to form for the TV studio sitcom. At least that's what they were hoping for. And it's also a very interesting premise. You have a family who is in a completely different situation than the family members that they are visiting. That's Nana and Papa, the typical grandparent situation. And I will admit, the grandparents in this show, played by great talent. The standout for me of this show really is Loretta Devine, and she plays Madeira, and oh my gosh, her banter with the family especially is hilarious. And the point of the show is to get the audience to laugh, clearly. But there are a lot of themes that I didn't expect within the show, right? You have two conflicting ideologies. The parents, they raise their kids a certain way, and then they bring them into a brand new situation. And you have the grandparents who live a completely different lifestyle. When those two things clash, it usually causes trouble, causes wacky things to happen. And with wacky things comes laughter from the studio audience, which it said it was filmed in front of not a laugh track, which is a bit different from the other shows in this nature that have come out in 2019. So the more recent one that I have watched was Mr. Iglesias, and I found that show to be very funny, mostly because you have the star in Fluffy leading that show, and the show did get a bit deeper than I thought it was going to get. I don't think that show's fantastic, but it was funny. It made me laugh. It did its job. This show, at times, made me laugh, and I can give the same congratulatory statement that I gave to Mr. Iglesias. This did get a bit deeper than I thought it was going to be, talking about how these kids are raised and just being, like the summary says, a catfish out of water. They're in a brand new situation. That's going to cause turmoil, it's going to cause a lot of emotion, and it's going to cause zany antics. And that's what we're in this show for. It is absolutely a full-on comedy with a nice family dynamic. I like the cast. A lot of people are going to recognize the talent that I talked about, but the headlining talent from our childhoods, it's Tia from Sister Sister. Just saying Sister Sister, I automatically started thinking of the theme song. Now it's stuck in my head. What do I do? Is she the focus of the show? Not necessarily, but the show doesn't really have one character that is at the forefront above all of the others. Like I said, Madeira is hilarious. I would say the majority of the time is spent on Jade and Jade's character because she is more of a fish out of water than everyone else. She finds it a bit harder to relate to certain situations, and when those ideas come into play, even though it's handled a bit cheesier than I think the narrative intends, because it is a very deep and emotional topic, if you spend time on it, what she's going through in the show makes a joke out of it. Like they make a joke out of this and that and the other thing. Here's my big issue with Family Reunion. It's not as funny as I think it needs to be to carry the weight of being a multi-camera studio comedy show. It doesn't have the laughs. It doesn't have that one character, that one actor that just eats, breathes, and sleeps comedy. You look at Fresh Prince, Will Smith. You look at Mr. Iglesias, that show has Fluffy, like I was just talking about. You look at Full House, right? There isn't necessarily a standout above all of the others, but it's full of comedic talent really funny comedians and actors in real life. And I'm not saying the cast of this show is not funny. I'm not saying there aren't jokes that I laughed at. I'm not saying there weren't times when I was smiling ear to ear because of how well portrayed some of these characters were, because you feel for their situation. Even though they were all for it in the first episode, of course they're going to run into conflict, because that's what this show, or show in this nature, is all about. But at the end of the day, a show like this has to make me laugh consistently, and unfortunately it did not do that. Well, you didn't make me laugh all that often. How was the plot? It wasn't really anything new. It's nothing we've never seen before. And you can say that about literally every show, but it's all about the execution. And the execution here was fine. The characters were fine. The acting was really good. They got into their characters. There wasn't that one character that was really annoying. I thought the uncle was a hilarious character every time he comes in. His entrance is one of the more funny character entrances I've seen this year, but it's also very cliche and predictable in terms of a laugh track / audience, because every time a character comes in, you've got the laughter or the oohs and the ahs, and then you have the pausing for the audience laughing, but we are not laughing as hard as I think they want us to laugh on the other end of the television. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say this is a bad show. I'm not going to say it's a show that's not worth watching. If you're into things like this and you know who you are, if you think you will enjoy a show like this, I would say give it a chance, give it a shot. There is fun to be had, but I needed something a bit more, and because of that, I'm going to go 50 right down the middle with Family Reunion. What did you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Is there anything dropping on Netflix this weekend that you would like me to check out? I'll try my best to do that. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll be back very soon with another review. Tomorrow is Crawl, and then Friday is Stuber. So those are movies coming out. Thank you guys for watching. See you very soon.